The Contrarian Canon Part 4, and how to use stories in unconventional ways to sell your stuff. Something happened this week that was a little embarrassing. A client sent me a note to let me know that in this series, The Contrarian Canon, I had been using in some places the wrong form of cannon. I was using the one with two ends, i.e. the one for firing cannonballs. And while I wish I could say that there was a clever double meaning behind it, alas, it was just a mistake from a bleary-eyed writer working hard to finish his book manuscript, in my case, for my upcoming book, Return to Real. Now, the only saving grace is that at least you know that my writing hasn't come from ChatGPT, which I don't know if would have gotten wrong. By the way, in case you hadn't heard, ChatGPT's creator, OpenAI, just announced this week that they are launching ads. This is a pretty big deal and something that we predicted way back in issue 20 of the Digital Contrarian, and something I'll have more to say about what this means and the opportunity it presents once I get through this manuscript. Speaking of which, while I've been deep in manuscript mode these past few weeks, my kids have been deep in the process of building a little business. They're learning about retail arbitrage, finding items locally that they can flip on eBay and Poshmark for a profit, like the fall raven parka in this photo. It retails on the website for $535. They found it locally on clearance for $169 and were able to sell it on eBay for $329. In fact, it sold within 20 minutes of posting, and they made a cool $130 profit after fees. So they're quickly seeing firsthand that being a business owner can be a lot more lucrative than getting a job. How did the item sell so quickly? Well, they're learning the power of using stories to sell in their listings to make their postings more memorable and stand out. Which brings us to the focus of today's newsletter, storytelling, and how to use stories to sell your stuff. Building on where we started in Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 of the Contrarian Canon 1N series from the last 3 weeks, I've pulled yet another one of the most powerful but overlooked key ideas that I wrote about this past year, and one that I think is worth doing a deep dive into today. This one is all about why storytelling might be the most scalable post-AI business skill, from issue number 56. Storytelling isn't just the path to connection. It might just be the most scalable skill that we have left. In this issue, we make the case that in a world increasingly drowning in polished, optimized, and increasingly AI-generated content, story is what cuts through the clutter. And because stories don't just inform and educate, they connect. Now, we start with a vivid real-world moment, a bear in the woods, me wearing Crocs with socks, and a crusty old stick, to show why raw human scenes create the kind of tension that makes people lean in. Then we turn storytelling into something that you can actually use. We break down the 3 story types and share 5 contrarian tips for making your stories more compelling. What you'll get if you double-click is a practical storytelling toolkit that you can immediately apply in emails and marketing and sales pages, even simple listings, so your message stops feeling generic and starts feeling true. We'll make sure we link to the full issue in the description with this episode, so you can dive right in right now. Okay, I will leave you with that for today. Back to manuscript editing for me. Have a great rest of your day. Remember to hug the ones you love. And until next week, I wish you all my best. Take care and talk soon.